This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust that you will consider this like a vitamin or a mineral or a supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts, would you please go and subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom and leave a rating and a brief written review? And also, if you'd like to talk with me for 30 minutes and get on my calendar to see if we can work together, if there's any way that I can help you, go to drronblake.com/call. drronblake.com/call. Today I want to ask you a question, leader. What are you tolerating? What are you tolerating? There's an old quote that goes around that you and I get whatever we tolerate. Usually the behaviors that we don't like in others and we want to blame others for, we played some major responsibility in the fact that we have allowed it. If people have mistreated us and we're adults, then somehow we've played into that and we have participated and we have allowed it. If you are the boss and people continually show up late and that irritates you, take a look in the mirror. You're the one who has tolerated it. You get exactly whatever it is that you tolerate. Everything right now in your life that you're tolerating drains you. It drains your energy. It more than likely makes you irritable. In a word, it just kind of wears you out, wears you down, tires you out, and it's very difficult to get a whole lot of other things done when you allow your energy to be sucked by all of these things that you really, in essence, are tolerating. It's true that most people are currently tolerating a lot of things. I read an author the other day that said anywhere between 60 and 100 things are happening right now. Maybe the first step would be to write it down, put it in a list. It doesn't do any good to keep it in a mental list. That's probably what you and I have been doing for a long time. And a lot of these would be nothing more than minor inconveniences or maybe annoyances. Something as simple as something around the house that I need to fix, something that I need to have mended, but every time I see it or every time I put it on, it's sort of an irritant of saying, I've got to get this fixed. So write your list out of all of the different things, and in a few moments I'll give you some things that should be on that list. Set aside a Saturday or a day off and do a blitz day to take care of those minor, and I'm sure that some of them are major annoyances. Resolving, and if there's things that you can't get resolved, some of them will be simply resolved in just a few moments. Some of them are going to take a little longer. If it gets long, take a break. Go for a walk. If you aren't able to work through your list, and more than likely you'll not be able to in one day, call somebody, call a friend, call a mentor, call a colleague, and just talk to them. And set a deadline that you're going to get those things done. So maybe you're thinking, well, this lesson really doesn't apply to me. There's nothing in my life that I'm really tolerating right now. Well, let's do a little mini checklist of the kinds of things that especially those who are seeking to lead, leading yourself, your family, your business, your church, a charitable organization that you're a part of. Are you tolerating in your life an unhealthy lifestyle? Are you burning the candle at both ends? Are you never taking a time for a break, for rest, for recreation, for recovery? Are you eating and health exercise? Are you doing those things, or are you living an unhealthy lifestyle? Are you ingesting things that aren't good for you? Those are some unhealthy things, and the best thing that you could do, leader, is to quit tolerating an unhealthy lifestyle and get yourself into a better place. Another thing that some people tolerate is dishonesty. Sometimes it's their own dishonesty, but other times it's allowing people to be dishonest and disingenuous with us when they know and we know that they're doing it. And the longer you tolerate that, it becomes more and more irritating and can become at times nearly debilitating and keeping you from being the leader that you need to be and should be. So if people are doing this, or even you're doing this, let's make an attempt to stop that and quit tolerating dishonesty. Another thing that so many tolerate, I talk to people nearly every day who have made it a lifetime habit of being negative. Now, usually people who have a more pessimistic bent, when I point this out to them, will point out to me they're not pessimistic, they're realistic. And I just think there's a question that needs to be asked. Why in the world, or who in the world decided that pessimism and negativity was more realistic than an encouraging, optimistic outlook? I happen to think that being an optimist is more realist. A negativity is a way that people just sort of learn to live, in which they can go through life blaming their circumstances, blaming the school system, blaming their parents, blaming their church, blaming their neighbors, blaming their coworkers, blaming the professors and teachers, um, complaining about the government, complaining about taxes, and on it goes. I don't mean that there aren't negative things that happen, but not everything that has ever happened to you is negative. And some people are into negative self-talk. They call themselves stupid. Well, I knew it wouldn't work. I knew all that. Stop it. Quit tolerating all that negativity. Quit putting yourself down. Well, I'm stupid. I'm dumb. I never get any of the breaks. Quit tolerating that kind of behavior. Would you tolerate that behavior if someone came into your home and started to call you names? Then quit tolerating it out of yourself. You are created by God. You are valuable. Quit putting up with negativity. The fourth thing that I want to ask you today, the question, are you tolerating, is simply this. Are you tolerating disorganization? Here's what I've discovered. When I allow my workspace to get messy, when I allow the places where I live to get that way, it really hinders me from thinking and doing, because not because you can't still put your head down and do the work, but simply because it's always in the back of your mind as something that's nagging you. I've got to clean that up. I've got to get disorganized. Now, I've met many people who tell me that on their messy desk, they know where everything is. And you won't, some of you, agree with this, but a messy desk tells me everything about your life. Your life is out of control. Your life is a mess. I'm guessing that if I went to your home, I would find your home in the same condition. And that is something you have to quit tolerating. So let's just go back to how I started and mentioning that you need to take a Saturday. Just do a great brain dump and put all of the things in your life that you're tolerating, all the things that you know you should attend to, you should fix, you should correct, you should get things in order. Why don't you take all of them and put them on the list, and take some time to make sure you've really thought through it and worked through it? And my guess today is, it's more than a guess. My thought on that is, you'll have much more things on your list if you spend the serious time doing this than you would have ever thought. So let me give you some prompts that I think can help you in this area, being disorganized. A messy desk. Now, you have gone on too long saying that's just the way you work. But it just speaks to and is an example of more than likely what your life looks like. Take a day, put it on the paper, I'm going to clean my desk. And when you start cleaning your desk, you're going to need to clean out the drawers. This is something I do 3 to 4 times a year. I make it on my task list, on my things that I'm going to get done today, is to clean the center drawer in my desk, to clean my office at my home, to clean the desktop. I have my desk pretty well organized at work. But a couple of times a year, I'll go through all of the drawers, I'll go through the credenza, and I'm discovering as I get more mature in age that you don't need a lot of stuff that you think you need. Nobody's going to want to rifle through all of that stuff. So start getting rid of it. So start at your desk. Right now, I'm sort of knee, perhaps hip deep in cleaning out closets. I've lost some significant weight in the last year, and I have a lot of clothes that don't fit anymore. And I've tried to give them to people, and give them to charity. And there are a few things yet left. And when I get back into town in a few days, one of my projects is by the end of this month to have all of my closets, all of my drawers redded through, everything gotten rid of that no longer fits, and give it away. And because it does weigh down on your effectiveness because it's in the back of your mind. I have that closet and I really need to clean it out and see where things are. Um, then another thing that you would want to, another item of tasks that need to go on this brain dump of things you're tolerating that you need to stop tolerating are the things around your home and office that need to be fixed. Is there a broken appliance? Is there a broken tool? Does the lawnmower need attention? Or in the northern part of the United States, your snowblower? Is there something in the home? Is there something that needs to be patched or painted or fixed? Write that on your list of those things that you are going to attend to. Then I would also add the area of your automobile. Do you need to have your oil changed? Do you need new tires? Do you need to wash your car? You keep thinking about it and you keep putting it off. Write it on the list. If there's things there in that area, then make sure on a day you are going to attend these things. Especially those of us in the Western world may have an unpaid tax bill. Maybe it's a dispute. I've had one of those. And when I go home, I will finally, the IRS and I've come to an agreement, and I will make sure that that is paid by the end of next week. That's getting closer to the deadline. But that's always, when it's unpaid, it's always in the back of your mind. So if there are unpaid taxes that you owe, or if there's someone who's done something for you that you promised you would pay them, put it on the list, write the check, and pay them. Another thing that we ought to quit tolerating is debt. Now, that's something you can certainly write down on the list, but more than likely for most people listening, you're not going to get out of debt in one day. But you need to come up with a real plan. There are all sorts of ways out there. I still think Dave Ramsey's debt snowball is the best way, but you can find whatever way you want. But start attending to it. It is not going to pay itself without attention from you. Perhaps around your house, if you're a homeowner, there's landscaping you haven't finished. There's in our part of the world, we have to sort of prepare our plants for winter. Take a day to do that. If there's something needs to be attended to in your yard, write it on your list and make sure that you are going to attend it. Are there calls you need to return? Are there some uncomfortable calls that you need to return? Just people that are waiting, or things that you need to say, maybe difficult conversations. Write them down. If you don't want others to know who may look at your list, use code, but make sure you return those calls. The second would also be true. Are there some people you need to go see? Are there some loops you need to close? Are there some conversations that have to come to resolution? Have you promised someone that you would get together with them? Put that down on the paper. Make sure that you return the call and you make the visit. I alluded to it, but let me give it its own spot and should go on your list. Those crucial conversations. Have you been putting off and tolerating putting off that you need to have a conversation with your boss? Then go ahead, put it on that little list that you're making, and schedule a time when you can meet face to face with your boss and have the conversation that you need to have. And if you're the boss yourself, if there's some crucial conversations that you need to have with some of the employees, quit tolerating it, put it on the list, schedule a time to do that. Perhaps it's one of your own children that you need to have a conversation that right now, just the thought of it in the pit of your stomach makes you uncomfortable. But go ahead and write that down. It could be a spouse. It could be a friend. If there are some crucial conversations you need to have, quit tolerating the behavior of ignoring it and putting it off, and go ahead and do that. Another one that's important to me right now is exercise. Have you been putting that off? You know you need to go for a walk. You know you need to do some certain kinds of things. Write it on your list. I'm going to quit tolerating the lack of exercise, and I'm going to do it. I started with this one, so let me come up with it again. Um, do you need to change your diet? Do you need to eat in a more healthy manner? Put it on the list. I also on that list, do you have some unfinished projects at work, personally? Unfinished projects for home. Maybe you've been trying to plan a vacation, you haven't planned it. Maybe there's a building addition to your home, another kind of a retirement plan that you need to come up with, whatever it may be. Put down on that list any unfinished projects you have. Do you need to put a budget together so you can see where you are and where your money goes and where you're saving? And maybe there are other things, a stapler, other things in your office that need to be fixed, thrown away, bought new, whatever it is. Any of those things that they've popped into your mind. I could go on the rest of the day listing things, but this was only done to give you some kind of a little bit of a prompt as you begin to put that list on the things that you know need to be attended to, but you're tolerating not doing it. Remember, again, you get what you tolerate. Everyone doesn't take advantage of you without your permission. So quit tolerating unfinished projects, unfinished tasks, unresolved conflict. Put it on a list. Take a Saturday, take a day off, and work your way through as many as you can. Some of them will be longer than that, but come up with a plan. You can do it. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today this has been like a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a brief written review. And hey, if you'd like to get on a power call with me, just to see if there's any possibility that we could work together or I could be a help to you, I'd love to do it. Just go to drronblake.com/call, drronblake.com/call. You'll get on my calendar, fill out the information, and at the pre-agreed to time on the form, I will call you and we'll see what the possibilities might be. Listen, my friend, my leadership friend, you are doing better than you think you are. You really are. And this is Dr. Ron saying have a great and blessed day.